Now, if you're a fan of France, there's a good chance you also like French wine. There are Bordeaux, Burgundies, Alsatian wines, wines from the Loire. The list just goes on and on. And quite frankly, it can be pretty overwhelming. So for this Entre Nous, we've decided to give you a sort of wine 101. To help me do that, I'm joined on the set now by Maxime Caderon. Hello, Maxime.
Hello.
So you are the head sommelier and in charge of all the wine programs at the prestigious Cordon Bleu in Paris. Now, when I think of the Cordon Bleu, I think of it mostly as a cooking school, but you also do wine classes as well. Tell us about that.
Exactly. We are basically the cooking school and the oldest cooking school of France, but wine and gastronomy are indissociable. We're going side by side. So that's why we have created years ago a wine program, which is based on a sommelier approach, but that has dipped and opened on many other levels.
So let's do a sort of mini class right now, if you agree. So I see you brought, for example, some different wine glasses. Let's start there. Which wine glasses go with which wines?
What is exceptional with that is that as an unknown feature, we can bespoke every glass to every wine. This is like having the right tool to do the right job. For example, I brought 3 different glasses that have completely different shape and style. One is for Pinot Noir, one will be for Cabernet, and this one is more for Riesling. The approach is that a glass will differ the tasting, the approach. You can change the profile because it's like having, trying to make a race in a car with a Mini or with a F1 supercar.
So which is the F1 of the glasses?
Oh, I'd say that the F1s will be here, depending on which side you're standing, more of a Burgundy one or a Bordeaux style. But I do love, and this is the trick, is that you cannot have every glass for every wine unless you have an unlimited storage area, because
which
it takes
many
space.
Parisians don't have.
Exactly. So the goal is to aim for the best ratio with everything. And we have found it with this type of glass, which has the perfect shape, size being a tulip shape, which has a wide opening at the center to let the air and the oxygen enrich the development of the wine and open it, with a narrowed nose to concentrate the flavor. With this being the most important feature, the feet, because you don't want the warmth of the body to influence your wine. You have to keep it away from yourself.
That's why you have a stem. So that kind of wine glass would work with red wine, white wine, any kind of wine.
Exactly.
And then the two behind them, why are they fancier? Why are they better? Just because they're bigger?
No, they are more dedicated to one single type of grape. We're working a lot with grape-style varietal for glasses because each grape has its own set of aromatics, mouthfeel, physical and chemical properties, and they are designed to enhance each and single side of each of those grapes. So those are more focused on maybe choosing your favorite glass for your favorite wine, and this is a very handy solution for the wide range.
All right, good to know. And I see you've brought some carafes. So someone who doesn't always carafe their wine, should we be putting all of our wines in a carafe?
The carafe has 2 sides of it. The first is it's a restaurant technique. Because the wine can enjoy opening through the oxygen and the opening of the time, in a restaurant you don't necessarily have time for that. You cannot anticipate the need of a customer for the opening. So the decanters, such as this one, for example, is perfect to open some very young wines, to let them brew because you have a wide opening. This other one is more dedicated to the old wines because this will be receiving the wine and separating the liquid from the bits and pieces, the chewy bits that you can have, the deposits that might be unpleasant. But on ideal condition, I would more advise the people to open in advance, slightly get the bottle down to a narrow level, about here, and let it breathe peacefully. Wine can enjoy peacefulness and time.
We'll be peaceful with our wines. All right, let's say you've opened a bottle of wine and you've been drinking in moderation, which of course is always a good thing. How long does an open bottle of wine last?
Let's say that if we're taking the average durability, 3 days is an acceptable range of expectation from an open bottle. It also depends on the level. The more you have taken the level down, the more oxygen will be within the bottle, accelerating the evolution of it. So it depends on how long you will have that space.
Fantastic. Maxime, thank you so much for giving us some wine tips here on Entre Nous. Maxime Caderon from the Cordon Bleu. Thanks to you for watching. Don't forget, you can always get more Entre Nous on our website. That address is france24.com.